How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the new patch class tuning changes that are coming out. I honestly wasn't expecting changes. I'm kind of surprised to see that there are any, just considering, I think the season and the expansion are kind of winding down. The fact that Blizzard's still investing in time and trying to make changes to better the game from a PvP standpoint is actually pretty refreshing. I think it's a little bit too slow. If I'm being honest, especially for the tournament players. I think Warlocks are probably going to be really upset about this one. Any person that played Warlock in these tournaments, especially after the Demon Armor nerf, it's kind of a slap in the face considering every single Warlock got eliminated already. But let's go ahead and take a look. Guardian Druid changes, irrelevant. Vengeance changes, irrelevant. These are just tank changes. I don't think these are going to be viable in PvP. Affliction Warlocks. This is something that's pretty scary because Affliction Warlocks already do really insane damage. 5% damage increase. 4-set bonus no longer grants Reign of Chaos. Honestly, I'm not sure what that is. Chat, go ahead and fill me in. Chaos Bolt damage increased by 5% only in PvE combat. Immolate and Incinerate damage increased by 20%. This is actually kind of insane because Immolate's actually a pretty reasonable percentage of your damage, but Incinerate with Necro, that is scary. Those things could already be like 16k or something. Necrolord Destro could definitely be pretty insane. And Conflagrate only PvE damage increase. And this is apparently Reign of Chaos is the talent that can proc an Infernal. So that's probably a good change. But yeah, these are definitely pretty nice. I don't think this is going to be enough for Destro Warlocks to survive. But we'll go ahead and get to that pretty soon here. There's some PvP specific changes. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people wanted, but I also think Hunters heavily relied on. So, 15-second Feign Death, removing all debuffs, is probably one of the most obnoxious things to deal with in the game. Now it will be a 25-second cooldown. It'll still remove all the debuffs. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be worth playing. You might just need to play it based on the fact that you need to remove those debuffs, but Hunters need to be compensated in some way. Hunters are obviously like a god class in 2s. They're not super strong in 3s. But even with 15-second Feign Death cooldown, they are still fragile. They are still incredibly fragile. So for them to make this change and not compensate them in some sort of way, it seems really, really rough, honestly. I think Hunters are going to be an absolutely horrible spot. I'm not actually super familiar with the Flow of Time conduit. Is this the Blink reduced cooldown conduit, guys? Maybe someone can confirm that for me. And Netherwind armor has been reduced from 10% to 15%. I really don't think that's that insane of a change, personally. I think you're probably still going to play that. And apparently the effectiveness on this Flow of Time conduit ends up, according to my chat, being a 2-second nerf. Honestly, Blink on a super short cooldown, considering how powerful Blink is, a 2-second nerf, it's better than nothing, but this isn't enough. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. I don't think it's gonna be enough if it's actually only 2 seconds. So mages are still gonna be broken. I know. Everyone, don't be surprised. All right, now Mistweavers. This is really interesting, and this is something that I'm actually pretty excited about here. But Mistweavers have a really big issue in PvP, and the only issue that is potentially being solved right now is the Chrysalis, all right? Renewing Mist now heals for 25% in PvP. Additional 25, it was 10%. Enveloping Mist now heals for an additional 10% PvP combat. These are actually really nice throughput changes. And then Chrysalis now reduces the cooldown of Life Cocoon by 45 seconds instead of 30 seconds. So, here's the issue with Mistweavers, guys. Mistweavers have really big issues right now. Being interrupted, being killed in stuns, and not having any oh shit on demand buttons frequently enough. And the only thing that actually helps Mistweaver in this situation is Chrysalis gives you a faster oh shit on demand button. But here's the issue. You have 3 honor talents. You need Eminence, because if you get stunned, you die in a sneeze. You need Peace Weaver, because it's absolutely insane. It reduces one of your major cooldowns by half, as well as makes you immune to all that magic damage. And you really, really, really need Zen Focus Tea to cast. So where does Chrysalis fit in? You know, do you drop Armor Mastery for Chrysalis? It's really difficult. Like, basically, I mean, you probably have to make this change right here just because you need the cooldown. Like, you need the cooldowns. It's absolutely so important, which means you're just kind of opening that tree up, and the last set of changes they did to buff Mistweaver now become irrelevant because they recently buffed Zen Focus T. So it almost feels like they're contradicting themselves a little bit here, because these 3 honor talents are basically going to be mandatory at this point. Like, even... man, I can't even think of a single comp where you don't play Peace Weaver. You play it into jungle. You play it into Ret Warrior. I even liken it to Turbo, because if those Turbos play Spear, you need it to get out of the Spear. I really can't think of any pure physical damage team that even exists anymore. Turbo would be one of the best examples. Maybe if Turbo doesn't play Spear, you could drop Peace Weaver, but even then it's like, you can immune hexes, you can immune CC from other healers, it's still a big heal, and it removes the cooldown half. Someone in my chat that also is known as MVQQ, twitch.tv/MVQQ, said maybe not in the jungle if you're being trained. It's actually still really good in the jungle when you're being trained, because when you're getting trained versus jungle, they trap your DPS, they fear your DPS, you have Adaptive Swarm on you. Peace Weaver can absolutely remove all of that. Someone in my chat actually said double Outlaw Rogue. Maybe versus that double Outlaw Rogue, you would drop Peace Weaver. But that's some tech that I don't want you guys to know about, because I play double Outlaw Rogue. So yeah, it seems like these changes overall are going to be irrelevant. But with that being said, I'm definitely going to... I'm going to give it a shot, because they are pretty big buffs. I mean, these are pretty big buffs. And the question I have for you is, will that 10% increase also now work on your monks on the Enveloping Mist that they deal? So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It'll be fun to test, but I kind of think overall it won't matter. Now, this is something I'm really interested in seeing. Like, this is crazy, okay? Retribution Paladins took a nerf. And I know this, maybe some of you guys don't think this is crazy, but Ret Warrior is kind of running the ladder, but they see 0 tournament play. So the Conduit has gotten nerfed in PvP combat, which is, you know, it's not a huge part of their burst, but when they... Templar's Verdict, and then it procs a Divine Storm, and then it procs that dumb thing that does AoE from their wings, and then that procs the Conduit, and then all of a sudden you take 50,000 damage with 1 global. It's pretty frustrating. So a small nerf there. I don't think it's going to be super relevant, but we'll talk more about it in a little bit. Shield of Vengeance damage being reduced. This one really surprises me. I'm going to be honest. There's been so many times in this expansion where I'm like, dude, why the F are we dead? And it's because Shield of Vengeance explodes for 30,000 damage. I'm really surprised to see it get nerfed, just because it's something that is kind of avoidable. You can avoid attacking into it. You could soak the damage with multiple people. I'm kind of surprised to see it getting nerfed. Personally, I like the nerf. Obviously, really biased. Because it just seems like a way more effective Touch of Karma. Touch of Karma is literally garbage in comparison, because you could literally dispel the dot. So yeah, it's a little strange. All right. Now, these are some changes that is probably going to really surprise you guys. Holy Priest have once again taken a nerf. And once again, it is not going to matter. That is just an absolute fact. Mana regen is nerfed a little bit more on Holy Priest. Doesn't matter. Chastise is now 1 second shorter. Doesn't matter. And Ray of Hope has now been nerfed to 90 seconds. Doesn't matter. You're probably never going to play Ray of Hope again, if I'm being honest. Maybe into like an Assassination Rogue where it lines up perfectly with Vendetta. But I already barely play Ray of Hope. I'm talking about 1 in 20 games maybe. I'm always playing Fly. I'm always playing Ward. Cardinal Mending has incredible throughput increase. I play Cardinal Mending a lot. I'm telling you, I barely play Ray of Hope. So for them to nerf that honor talent, irrelevant. 1 second off Chastise, guess what? You're still getting full fucking feared off that. Irrelevant. Oh my god, I'm ooming on Holy Priest. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna go for a drink. Irrelevant. So yeah, don't expect to see any difference there. Holy Priests are still going to be absolutely all over the ladder. Now, this is actually a pretty good buff in my opinion. Shadow Priest, in my opinion, were definitely struggling in PvP combat. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. It kind of feels like, from my experience, like their dot damage is pretty irrelevant. Maybe they needed some sort of burst to actually help people finish. But I mean, over the course of a game, it could definitely add up. We've already seen some success with Shadow Priest so far in this recent set of tournaments. Mainly like the Outlaw and Assassin Shadow Priest from Kauai. So maybe this little extra shadow damage that they deal can, kind of tip that over the edge to, make some of their matchups even stronger, considering like Holy Priest mana regen's nerfed a little bit too. Just, kind of push it a little bit further in one direction. But overall, I kind of feel like Shadow Priests are missing damage, but I also feel like they're kind of awful in the cleaves. Like, when they fight a cleave, there's literally no point in existing. Float Like a Butterfly for Outlaw has been nerfed. This effectively, it doesn't exactly work out this way, but it makes evasion and feint, I don't want to say twice as long as a cooldown because they have other CDR, but it significantly increases the cooldown of evasion and feint. I don't know exactly how important this is going to be. According to Trill, his exact words are, it's not super bad, but some cleaves could probably kill a rogue now. And, keep in mind that he's saying probably. So I don't think this is really going to matter that much. Keep in mind that Outlaw is also very tanky versus things that don't constantly train them, just because of the vanishes, the cloaks, the sprints. It doesn't have to be evasion. Maybe now they'll think about evasioning a little bit more. So here are some Warlock changes. So obviously we talked about like the damage changes that Affliction and Destro got. So damage is good, but if they die, it's not good. But here we have some survival things that Warlock got. Dark Pact, which is an unbelievable shield, has gotten buffed. And Dark Pact is already really strong. So this is a huge buff for Destro. This is a huge buff for Affliction. Demo doesn't really play this talent. But I could totally see a world right now where Demo decides to play this talent versus things that are pure setup based. For example, like versus Rogue Mage or something now, I would see there being absolutely no reason not to play Dark Pact. I mean, it is just an insanely powerful shield. So what is it right now? Sacrifice 20% health. Your current health to shield you for 250% of sacrifice health. This is going to 300%. So if I sacrifice 20% of my health, that is 18,000. It's almost 90,000. That is insane. You have to kill a Warlock 2 times. A fully geared Warlock with like Fortitude has about 109,000 HP. So it's gonna be insane. But yeah. Alright, well, besides all that awful math, you play Demon Skin as Demo, but versus like Rogue Mage, I totally could see you playing Dark Pact now. But I think in general, Demon Skin is really important as Demo, just because you don't want your pet to die. But yeah, huge buff to Affliction, huge buff to Destro. Essence Drain now causes the target deal 9% less damage to Warlock per stack. This seems insane. So this is a 25% damage reduction right now. No one ever plays it. But I could see Affliction playing this and it being a 45% damage reduction for 10 seconds? Oh, it's only 4 stacks now? Dude, it's so weird. 9%. Like, why 9? So it's 36%. Imagine just permanently dealing 36% less damage to an Affliction Warlock. I don't think you could afford to play this as Destro. I don't think you could afford to play this as Demo. I don't know if Affliction Warlocks have the honor talent to afford. I don't actually play Affliction, but that seems pretty nice. And now another pretty interesting change, and I think this is something that you're going to see Warlocks play, is the Big Gateway. The Big Gateway is pretty insane. It's faster, it's longer, and it's going to be even shorter of a cooldown. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Bam! So instead of a 2-minute cooldown, actually it's a minute and a half. Instead of a minute and a half cooldown, it'll be a 1-minute cooldown. That's an insane gateway, and it's really good for your entire team. If I'm playing a Demo Warlock, I'm going to be honest, I'm dropping CS into Cleaves every time. Like, I think there's already a lot of matchups where you decide to drop CS into Cleaves. Gateway Mastery. Imagine hitting a Warlock who, we'll go back to this in a second. I'll show you all the sick mobility you could do. Alright, Soul Leech grants an Absorb Shield based on 12% of damage dealt in PvP was 8%. So, yeah, even more survivability for Affliction. I think Affliction could actually be kind of scary. I don't know for sure But damage increase and survivability increase? What else more could you want? The question, is it enough? I'm not 100% sure, but it actually seems kind of insane. It actually seems kind of insane. Like, you're never killing through Dark Pact. And they already do, like, Affliction Warlocks already do probably the highest damage in the game by a mile. The question is, well, I mean, some of the problem is sometimes it's not lethal damage, if that makes sense. I swear I could actually see Affliction Warlocks just decimating the ladder. Ret Warrior got nerfed. I think Ret Warrior literally put Warlocks in the dirt. What else got nerfed? Hunters got nerfed. I mean, damn. That's crazy. That is crazy. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about the Warrior stuff. Earlier I said I feel like the Ret changes don't really matter that much. Well, guess what? Conqueror's Banner has also got nerfed by 33% in combat. And Crushing Blow now deals 20% less damage in PvP combat. So Fury Warriors got nerfed. Dude, this is an Affliction Warlock game, bro. Oh my goodness. That's pretty insane, man. That is definitely insane. We'll have to see how this plays out. Overall, I would say the only really insane meta changes we're going to see is maybe Affliction Warlocks rise up to the top. Maybe. It's been a while since I've seen an Affliction Warlock. Maybe they're actually just horrible without resolve. Maybe this is all just cap. But yeah, pretty nice to see changes. I think the Fury ones are definitely relevant. I think the Warlock ones are definitely relevant. The Shadow Priest ones seem okay. I think the Holy Priest ones are relevant. Paladin ones kind of irrelevant. Mistweavers are probably still going to suck. Mages are still OP. And Hunters are just going to suck. That's kind of my take on everything here. But yeah, awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully, if these changes are good for you, it kind of you know, sparks your interest to play again. It's nice to see Blizzard still caring even this late in the expansion. But yeah, good luck to everyone, and thank you very much for watching.
That you never be lonely. Be the fan, that's